Every year there's players in fantasy football that you look at on draft day and you just go, I'll pass. It's actually those players that I like to talk up to my league mates so they draft them. I'll drop all kinds of meaningless stats and facts about a few of these players to my league mates just in hopes that it plants a seed that one day will sprout and lead to them drafting these players. It's really one of the most important things you need to do to find success in fantasy football. You gotta take advantage of those clueless league mates. You can also take advantage of those clueless league mates by getting yourself a 2024 fantasy football draft guide. It's got player profiles, injury breakdowns, cheat sheets, offensive line rankings, Kyle's dynamic running back rating, plus so much more. It's only $21.99 and we're going to update that bad boy from now up until week 1 of the NFL season. So every time you log in, the most up-to-date information is right there and waiting for you. Now, maybe you want a free draft guide? You can do that by signing up for a new account over on Underdog Fantasy using the referral code Headliners. Once you do that, you make your initial minimum $10 deposit and you are good to go. They're going to give you a first-time deposit bonus of up to $250 in bonus cash, and I'm going to send you a free draft guide. But I'm also feeling generous, so if this video here today can get over 1,000 likes, I'm going to pick a random commenter from down below to give them a free draft guide. So you know what to do. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and let's talk about a few players that your clueless league mates need to draft in 2024. I have a feeling a few of these names may surprise you. And can we start off with a group of players? How about the Texans wide receivers? I'm talking about Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell. And this one right here is going to be so hard for a lot of people to understand in 2024. It's their love for Nico Collins and Tank Dell from 2023 that is really overpowering their brains right now in 2024. You all know that I am a Nico Collins truther, the OG Nico truther. I didn't hear anyone else last year on YouTube telling people that they needed to draft Nico Collins except for me. I also love the skill set of Tank Dell though, and how much CJ Stroud absolutely loves him. But the big mistake people are making is just writing off Stephon Diggs because he killed them in fantasy last season. But this isn't about saying these guys are going to suck or they're going to be a bust. That's not the purpose of this show. This isn't me saying that the Houston Texans offense as a whole isn't going to be great, because I think they're going to be pretty freaking good. This is me saying that it will be impossible for 3 wide receivers to score double-digit fantasy points each and every single game of the fantasy season, especially when there's still other guys in the mix, guys like Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown. They're still there. They're still going to be involved. Now, when the season comes to an end, we may have 3 wide receivers with over 1,000 yards receiving, but in fantasy football, that doesn't really mean jack. Knowing which wide receiver is going to go off weekly in Houston is going to be like playing damn whack-a-mole. They're all going to have good games at times. They're all going to have inconsistent target shares at times. And one other thing that no one else is talking about is how much better this overall defense is going to be in Houston this season. When this offense can score early, if the defense can keep opponents out of the end zone, Houston isn't going to be playing from behind all 4 quarters like we've seen them the last few years. They're going to be running a lot more in the second half of ball games. Why do you think they brought in Joe Mixon? They needed a bell cow running back that they can rely on late in games to run out the clock and seal a victory. I'm telling you right now, Houston plans on having more late game leads in 2024, which means less opportunity for throwing the football down the field, less targets to go around for all the wide receivers, and also less touchdown opportunities. Personally, if you're asking me, I don't want to have this type of headache from a player that I have to draft within the first 6 rounds of my fantasy football drafts. And unfortunately, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell are all going within the first 6 rounds. I will talk up these guys all off season long to my league mates. I'll let them know that, you know what, last year was not a fluke for Nico Collins. They just paid him a ton of money. Let's let them draft these guys and then deal with the headaches in season. But if I'm going to talk about the guys in Houston, I need to talk about the wide receivers in Chicago as well. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. Now, everything that I said for Houston, I could pretty much say for Chicago as well. We know the targets are going to split up a bunch of different ways in Chicago. We know the defense is improved in Chicago. They can keep scores low and really limit the need for having to pass all 4 quarters. But now we also have an unproven rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. He may be great. He may be Josh Rosen. The fact is, we really don't know for sure because we haven't seen him play in an NFL game just yet. Is he going to spread the ball around? Is he going to lock onto a certain guy more frequently? Because we also can't forget they have 2 pass-catching tight ends there as well in Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett. Now, while these guys are going to be a little bit cheaper than the wide receivers in Houston, I don't want to play the lottery every single time I put a Bears wide receiver into my lineup in 2024. Really similar to all the guys in Houston, these guys are each going to have big weeks in 2024. I'm telling you, it's going to be like clockwork. One of these guys, more than likely, is going to go off each and every week. But which one is it going to be each week? That is going to be a headache to figure out. Now, when the season comes to an end, these guys are probably going to have overall solid years. But trying to figure out what kind of production am I going to be getting weekly in my fantasy football lineup? Absolutely not. I'll let one of my clueless league mates draft one of these guys. Which will bring us to the part of the show where I have a feeling some people are going to get butthurt, but that's okay. Facts are facts. The next guy up is Malik Neighbors, wide receiver for the New York Giants. And at the time of the NFL draft, I came on this channel and said, hey, in the right situation, I'm taking Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr. So this isn't a talent issue for Malik Neighbors. The kid is great. 100% not saying that. I mean, we're already seeing him make plays in camp. But you know what else we're seeing in camp at times? Daniel Jones looking like a 40-year-old men's league quarterback just flinging the ball all over the place. There are always playmakers in New York, and there are always underutilized playmakers in New York. At this point, it's kind of what we just expect for the Giants. They squander talent yearly. Daniel Jones himself has never played a full season. He hasn't thrown for more than 15 touchdowns in a year since his rookie year in 2019. Plus, he doesn't throw the ball deep down the field very often. He is routinely in the bottom half of the league when it comes to deep balls thrown and deep ball completion percentage. Now, while Neighbors is the best overall wide receiver on this roster, and it's really not that close, there are other capable role players in this offense that are going to require some sort of a target share. Guys like Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins, and Jalen Hyatt. Personally, I would rather just have one of my dumb league mates draft Malik Neighbors somewhere in the first 5 rounds of the draft and let them assume that risk. I'll wait a little bit longer. I'll grab some guys like Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, or maybe even Chris Godwin, who are all being drafted after Malik Neighbors. But you gotta remember, this isn't a Malik Neighbors issue. It's a Giants and Daniel Jones issue that worries me. And lastly, maybe this is a hot take, maybe it's not. I know a lot of people were disappointed last year in Travis Kelce, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, but right now, he's still the overall tight end 2 when it comes to average ADP. He's coming off his worst season since 2015, his lowest amounts of targets in a season since 2014, and he's tied his lowest touchdown total in a season since 2017. Now we look at the overall Chiefs offense, and there may be more offensive weapons overall for Patrick Mahomes this year than maybe he's ever had. Rashee Rice, his court date isn't set until December as of right now, so he could be on the field the first 14 weeks of the season. Then we know they just traded up into the first round of the NFL draft and selected speedster wide receiver Xavier Worthy. But not just that. They also brought in Hollywood Brown during free agency, and they still have a few solid role players, guys like Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney, and Mecole Hardman. Now, Travis Kelce himself is going to turn 35 during the season, and he no longer needs to have the ball forced to him every single week to give the Chiefs a chance to win. I totally expect the Chiefs to lessen his role a little bit this year. Keep him healthy. Have him all 17 games. Have him 100% healthy heading into the playoffs. And then, once the playoffs come, they just take off the reins and allow him to carry them to their third straight Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but I can see that being the Chiefs' mindset. But once again, this is not me saying that Travis Kelce is going to be a bust overall in 2024. But at the tight end 2 overall, I will let my dumb league mates draft him and take all of that risk heading into the season. I'm sorry to say it, but prime Kelce is gone, unfortunately. I'll go with guys like Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid, or even Jake Ferguson out of Dallas for a much cheaper price than spending that hefty price tag on Travis Kelce in 2024. But let's have a little bit of fun. I want to know what you think. Who are a few of the players that you look at on your draft board and you just go, Jake, I just can't do it? Because I know it happens out there all the time, but I'm telling you, one of the most important things you can do to find success in fantasy football is still find a way to talk up that player. Talk up one of your league mates to taking that guy. Let them assume that risk, because what that means is some of those safer guys, some of those guys that you really want, will end up falling to you in your drafts. You don't want to sit there and tell your league mates all of how much you dislike a player. Because if you're doing that, there's still an opportunity that even though you don't like him, the guy falls so far that you end up drafting him anyway, and then you're just pissed off about it. So let me know who a few of those players are down below in the comment section. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so now. If you haven't subscribed yet, why the hell not? Now is the time to do so you can absolutely dominate in 2024. Now I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and then most importantly, do your part to make the world a better place.
Analytics, off the chain, all the channels, not the same.